Anything worth having is going to take some time. It's going to be, I'm just thinking about all the stuff I've been doing as a trainer, coaching people for the last 13, 14, since 2001, so almost 14 years now. And I think about are people paying you to tell them what to do? And that's basically what you're doing. I mean, if you're watching this video, it means you're searching for more information so that you can become better at whatever it is you're trying to fix. But just think about everything that anyone wants to accomplish, whether it be getting in a good relationship, finding a girlfriend, boyfriend, finding a husband, wife, getting super strong in powerlifting, to not have pain, which I know a lot of you connect with me on that point, not to have all these problems with your joints and flexibility, is to fix yourself, to make yourself rich, to become wildly successful. It's just a shitload of hard work. There is no substitute. And to be more specific, I know that you've heard this a ton. I want to be very specific about each of these things. In my kind of expertise at the gym and sort of what I know and what I've been doing recently is the overhead squat and fixing muscle imbalances. And I know a lot about fixing muscle imbalances. And why am I still broken and so messed up? Well, the fact is I haven't put enough time into fixing myself. Now I have put a great deal of time, but I haven't put the real effort that's necessary to fix my major bottlenecks. In that case, it's my ankles. That has changed and there's some improvement, but it's only been a week. So I've had tight ankles, tight calves for such a long time, and it's been messing with my squat, my knee, and my back for such a long time. I'm not going to get miraculous results in a single day. Recently, my wife, she had been having neck problems. I've had some clients that have been having neck problems because of using the computer a lot. And if you notice, I'm standing. I have a standing desk. And I've had this for, I don't know, almost a year now. And one of the reasons why I converted to this was to strengthen my feet, because I need to strengthen my feet. The other thing, too, is that I've been getting neck problems also with deadlifting. I had this killer neck issue where when I turned my head, I couldn't turn my head. It hurt like hell. I get headaches. And a lot of that's related to sitting at a desk, sitting in front of a computer too much, getting all rounded and stuff, kyphosis of the chest, of the upper back, and too much rounding of the shoulders, which basically makes your levator scapula work extra hard. And to fix all these things, like on a client yesterday, we trained, but we didn't get to do the standard workout because she was in pain in her neck, and I was teaching her what she needed to do. And when you break it down, especially the neck, this applies to a lot of other groups, but the neck is a big one, kind of more of a chain of events, is when you breathe shallow, when you have shallow breathing, you don't breathe into your belly or into your balls, as Elliot Hulse will say, breathe into your lower abdomen. You take shallow breaths into your chest. And when you take shallow breaths into your chest, it makes your shoulders rise up and down, up and down. Now, you don't really see it, but this is very minute. But combine this, shallow breaths, sitting, crouched over, rounded shoulders, stressed out, working your ass off, office work, whatever you're doing, and then over time it just starts to build and build and build. So it's like you're doing 1,000 shrugs a day, and you're loading levator scapula a ton in a bad position. Now the levator scapula is supposed to work, but it's not meant to really lift the shoulders. It's really meant to move the neck, but then when your head's forward, it kind of makes the neck work a ton more. So it's important that you keep your head neutral. Now if you're in pain already, it's kind of like it's pissed off. You can't really fix it immediately. You can massage it, you can do some light stuff to kind of deactivate it and make it feel better, but it's pissed off and you're going to have to wait for it to heal. And the only way you're going to make it heal is you don't fuck it up again. And the only way you can do this is if you practice good posture. Standing is pretty much automatic. I have no choice but to keep my stomach activated a little bit and keep my head upright because this is where my desk is. But when you're in a chair and you're sitting down, everything starts to fall apart. Everyone is a little different because everyone's background is different. But going back to what I was talking about hard work and getting to where you want to be, you're going to have to spend your whole life trying to do something amazing. And you might not even do anything amazing yet because it takes a really long time. It takes a really long time to really build. Like just think about becoming a doctor, how many years it takes. Now, you're messed up or you have some problem in your ankles, knees, hips, back, hip flexor like me. The only way I'm going to be able to fix myself is if I am able to control my ankles and position and strengthen the right muscles in a proper way, so that way I stop making these movement compensations. And that's sort of what you're doing. You're making all these movement pattern compensations, and people always ask, why is my hip hurting? Why is my foot hurting? Why is my back hurting? It's been a week, it's been a month, it's been 3 months, and my hip's still bothering me because you keep aggravating it. It says, I haven't been lifting heavy, I haven't been doing these exercises that have been bothering it. Well, the exercises that bother it, the weight that bothers it is because of the repetition. You're moving bad in that position. Had this coworker yesterday, she asked me, she's been having trouble with her right hip flexor, and she's been having issues, right? And she had to have it released because it's so tight. Her right shoulder is so tight. And I told her, you got to look at your day and see what you do on a regular basis. Before she became a trainer, she didn't really work. She didn't work at all, so she's at home. But now she's working. She's walking a lot. She's doing a lot of stuff. I mean, as a trainer, it's pretty physical. I mean, it's not like, you're lifting a ton of heavy objects like total manual labor, but you're definitely on your feet a lot. And if you have some imbalances and you kind of have these muscle imbalances and you keep running hard at it and you keep putting stuff on top of it, like work, like reps, like sets, like heavy weight, these imbalances will exacerbate. They'll get worse. Other parts of your body will get loaded more than another. And then it'll keep happening and happening and happening up to a point where she gets that tight hip flexor. Now, she got that tight hip flexor because she told me that she has, on that right side, I think she said she has some screws in her ankle. I don't know exactly what happened, but that already tells me when you have an injury like that, it changes your whole movement pattern. So in her case, probably her heel is weak, her foot is weak, her ankle is tight and weak. So she's going to, no, her left ankle is weak. I'm sorry, the screws are on her left. So since her left ankle is weak and her foot is weak, and her left leg is probably weaker than her right, probably because of those screws. Because of just the weight change, the way she moved, she's shifting to the right. So she's sitting on her right hip more. She's probably not activating her core like she should. She has all these muscle imbalances that make her overwork that particular muscle. It's sort of like you're trying to get better at a deadlift, bench press, a squat. Like one of the problems in the squat is turning into good morning. And one of the reasons of this is having weak quads. So you're trying to fix your upright position. Well, got to strengthen your quads. That means high bar squats, that means hack squats, that means lunges. I mean, it doesn't have to be those exercises. You have to pick an exercise that fits specifically for what you want to accomplish and what fits for you, what makes sense for you. But to understand this is that even if you have imbalances for the squat at a max weight, keep in mind that you're shifting from side to side. One side is stronger than the other. When you have pain, it's because you're overloading one side more than the other for lots of reps and sets. And again, veering off all the time, coming back to what I was talking about, how do you fix all this stuff? How do you clean this stuff up? There's really only one way you can clean all this stuff up, is that you have to work your ass off in fixing the tight muscles, basically smashing the crap out of them, stretching them, and then strengthening the weak muscles. And a lot of this stuff is mundane. It's a lot of repetitive work. It's like school. Like you have to read these chapters, and you have to take this test, and you have to read more chapters, and you have to take a harder test, and you have to write an essay, and essays, and essays. And it's non-stop. It just keeps on going because for me, it's my ankles. I have problems in my hips because of my ankles, but chances are all those problems have traveled up. So after I fix my ankles and after I improve those, I need to fix on my hips. Of course, I do both, but keep in mind that I need to really work on my ankles because that's my major bottleneck. Once I fix that and make some significant improvements in that, I can put more emphasis on my adductors. Now, I still put emphasis on my inner thighs and my piriformis, but my ankles is my major bottleneck. And my point of saying all this is that you have to work your ass off on fixing your problem. And that may take you off the major track. I want to deadlift 600 pounds, 700 pounds, squat X amount. I want to build an empire, business, whatever, right? It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a long time before you actually get there. But you have to actually work and focus on those weak spots, those activities that allow you to get the most results. Because in training, all you really have to do is lift heavy ass weights. Now, I know, sorry if I'm oversimplifying that, but if you have good coaching and you have good knowledge, you can train pretty hard and get strong. The problem you run into is poor motor pattern, which causes repetitive injury because of overuse, volume, muscle imbalances. So it's just loading the body, increasing volume. Izzy Powerlifting to Win says all programs are just dirty little secret is just trying to get you to increase volume of work capacity week after week, month after month, and continuing to do the process. And you deload so that you can continue to reload the body, because as you increase your volume, you're going to get more and more beat up. And you just can't keep going up without taking a little bit of a break. And when it comes to putting on muscle, dieting, like no one wants to diet, right? Who wants to fucking restrict what they want to eat? Who wants to sleep for a particular time? Who wants to follow any disciplined lifestyle? Got to go to bed at a certain time, got to wake up at a certain time, can only eat certain foods, can eat only certain amounts of foods. I have to do these exercises first, I need to do these stretches first. If all you got to do was do the things you've always wanted to do all the time whenever you wanted, there's a good chance your life will be pretty fucked up, because the truth of anything that you want to accomplish is going to take a shitload of discipline. And of course, there's going to be balance. You got to have some fun too. But the things that are holding you back, the things that will give you the most amount of bang for buck, you have to figure out and you need to spend the time. It's almost like as you figure something out, you realize, oh, I need to find this one thing, and I fix it. And then you move on to the next thing. A lot of the time what happens is, oh, I find this one thing, then you find this one thing, then you find this one thing, and you try to fix all of them at the same time. You can't. You don't have enough time in the day. I mean, you can't increase your squat, bench, and deadlift and increase them all by 20, 30 pounds in the same training cycle, unless you're an absolute beginner. If you've been lifting for 3 or 4 years, consistently, seriously, I've been only lifting for 2 years, and I already know I'm not going to make a 30-pound increase in any of my lifts in any 12-week period. It's going to take a long time. So you got to have patience, and you have to realize that you're in here for the long haul. That's not the training, not just the training, but the diet, the whole life, because all these disciplines will ultimately get you to the place you want to be. You know, what's that saying? Master of none? Or was jack of all, a master of none? You know, you have to master master and fix your problems so that way you can make the next giant leap to the next level of your life and fitness, health.